everybody for Web Systems Development. This is Instructor Wolf, Professor Wolf. You guys can all call me Todd or whatever you're comfortable with. This is for the January 2021 spring session for Empire State College. Real quick, I just wanted to touch base to get you all off on a good start. Today I was setting up your FTP accounts, and from previous classes, I know sometimes it's hard to get going and get started. For some of you who haven't done web development too much or recently, I want to give you just a little video here just to get you set up on and off on the right foot and go over some basic things that are important to our environments. One of the things you'll notice when you're reading through the material for the first module, you're going to need an FTP account. I will be posting information about those shortly. That FTP account is where you're going to be putting your files throughout the term. Please do not use any other previous FTP accounts or your own personal FTP accounts that you might have unless you review it with me first, as I will need to access your code throughout the term and review it. And it's important that you're constantly updating your code and providing me with your public URLs, which I'll go over today for your submissions, and that once you're done doing an assignment, you're also verifying it in your web browsers over the internet. So I want to cover those basic steps with you here as a starting point to get started today. So what I'm looking at right now is a folder on my computer that I set up for this class. I recommend you all do the same. This will be your local development folder. Right now, I'm working out of my ESC web systems, and I created a new folder for 2021 Portal. I created an index page. For those of you who don't know, all websites should have an index page. This is your starting page on your website, and this will be what I would recommend your home page, your portal page that you'll be creating in your first assignment is called. When it comes to development, please do not come up with difficult names. Do not mix cases. Do not use spaces. Those are all things that are going to get you into trouble in this course. Keep your naming convention simple. Use common naming conventions. Keep your case structure all of the same. You're going to be working in a folder structure that is Linux hosted, which means it's going to be case sensitive. So for those of you who are used to Windows and flexibility of case structure not matter, this is going to be a case structured world that you're working in. So if your code is not consistent with your URL patterns and your file names, things are going to break along the way. So I recommend keeping things all lowercase. It'll make your life easier in the long run. So in my folder, you'll see I already have an index page, and I created two other files for organization purposes for now. One for CSS, that's going to come up in Module 2's assignment, Module 1, the second assignment, and one for images. So as I have images that I'll add to my site, I'm going to organize them there. I'm going to show you really quick this index page. It's just a template essentially for me for an HTML5 page. You're going to add in items that you need to make your own portal page. Mine is just a base page just so I can load it up on the FTP, show you how to do that, and allow you to see what the code looks like. So if I go into my editor, in this class I'm going to use Notepad++ for my editor. Highly recommend that you guys would do the same. You're not using any tools to write code for you, so let's make that clear from the beginning. You're going to use a text editor along the way. I want you writing your own code. You could use a tool like VS Code or some Eclipse versions if you want. That's okay with me. But make sure when it comes to doing the actual code and the markup that it's code that you are actually writing and the tool does not generate it for you. So here in my notepad, just some basic things here. This is HTML5 doc type to start your page. And then these are just regular semantics of an HTML5 page. So my HTML, my heading section. So for instance, on my title, I'll put in, Professor Wolf WSD Portal homepage. Y'all would do the same. I have a little placeholder for when I do have a style sheet coming up in a future assignment. That's going to reference my CSS folder and then the file name of my style sheet. So I have that commented out with an HTML comment right now. I have a placeholder for an image for a logo or some other images that I might want to put in. That would be in my images folder, so that's commented out. I have a heading tag for an H1. Then I have navigation commented out if I want to add navigation to future assignments or however I might want to do that. Your portal page will be your destination to future assignments. So what I'd like to see for every assignment you do is an update to your portal page. So all you have to do is submit me your link to your portal page and I can see your other future assignments. Okay, so you'll add your links on the page. And then I have just a little placeholder text. There's a website out there called Lorem Ipsum Generator. You won't actually have placeholder text. You'll have real content on your pages. Mine is just placeholder text just to show you what it looks like. And then I close out the paragraph, close out the main section of the page, close out a footer section, which you guys may have a footer to put in, and then the body and closing HTML. So my code is neatly indented, easy to read, easy to look through. I expect you guys to take those types of practices into your development as well. Easy to read code, easy to read syntax and all of that. I'll save that, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to view that here from on my computer before I load it to my FTP site. So if I double click it, right click it, you're doing web development. So when it comes to web development, highly recommend as you move forward on future assignments, get in a habit of using different browsers. My default browser is Chrome, but you can never control what your users are going to be using on the public internet. So Firefox, Internet Explorer, Microsoft Edge, those and Safari, those are fair game. Mobile devices are fair game. Things to consider throughout this term. For instance, majority of the time, I may look at your sites in Chrome, but at times I may check things out in Firefox or Edge. I'm not too worried about Internet Explorer. That usage is falling off, but you still have some users out there, especially in the corporate world, that are big users of Internet Explorer still. So when you open your page, check it out locally. Everything looks good as you had hoped for. Then you're ready to upload this to your public web server. Okay, so the information for your FTP account I'm going to give you, and I recommend FileZilla. Very easy program to use for those of you on Mac and computer and PC. You can download FileZilla, and once you have FileZilla installed, what you're going to do is set up a new site. What I recommend here in this local site section, point that path to the folder of your code for this class. So if you case my case here, I have the same path that I was showing you in Windows Explorer or File Explorer. You see my index page, and you see I'm not connected to any server yet. So what I'm going to do is in FileZilla, you're going to go up to File, Site Manager, choose New Site, give the site a name. So I'm going to do WSD 2021 Spring. Over here in host, you're going to put in the FTP host server name that I've given you, which is that one there. For a username, you're going to use the username that I've given you, which is your first name and last name, capital initial for each portion. And it's going to have the @ symbol and then the rest of the domain name and then the password that I've given you. And you're going to click connect. Okay, you're going to look to see that it was successful, and this is going to show you the root of your public folder that I've created for you. And everybody's going to have their own public URL in the class, which you can share with each other, you can share with other friends, family, and see it on the internet and test things out once you've uploaded your code. So the next step, once you're connected to your FTP, is quite simple. You take your files, your folders, you just select them, and then you can just drag them over, and they should upload. You'll get a message that says that they've uploaded. Everything will be successful up here. And then after you've uploaded everything, it's time to check it out in your web browser. So here was me testing it locally first. You see the path is my C users drive. Now I need to check to see if it's uploaded on my web server. My public URL here, and I will share this with all of you as well, your public URL is going to be that domain name followed by your directory name, which is again your full name, just as your username was. Again, case sensitivity, so I have a capital T and a capital W in the path because that's how my username was set up. Right now, before I've uploaded any files, and please note this, it's going to show forbidden. Okay, so I used the default file name of index, which the web server is going to notice. If I just hit enter now, you're going to see my page load in my browser. Okay, and in reality, it's loading that index.html page. So as long as you have an index.html page, you can just put in your base path and it will find it because the web server knows it. If you call your file names anything else, then you're going to have to type the name out. So the same thing as if I type in index.html, it's going to still show the same content. Now, if I, type in hello world.html, I'm going to get a not found error. And the reason that happens, well, I have not uploaded a file called hello world yet. Correct. Okay. So just keep that in mind as you're working in the system. You get not found error messages. It's because you've not matched your path to how you've uploaded it to your FTP. If you're getting a forbidden message, well, that's because, well, I won't actually get the forbidden message now because I have the index page there. But if, for instance, if I take it away and just delete it, okay, now and refresh, it's because I do not currently have a default page loaded to my FTP, okay, that's called index. And that's why I highly recommend everybody, for sake of ease, call your portal page for your first assignment index, and then the only URL you have to pull up is this. This is the URL you're going to submit to me. This is the only URL you should ever really need to submit to me throughout the term, as long as every assignment you're updating and putting on your homepage here. So you complete an assignment, it has a new path, a new URL, come back to this main index page and link it so that you have a hyperlink to that new assignment. So hopefully this gets everybody off on a good start. I'm excited and looking forward to the term. You guys have my email address. Please do not use Moodle to send me a message. I can't reply through there. Email me directly at my Empire State, todd.wolf@esc.edu email address, and I will be able to get back to you very quickly. If you send me a message through Moodle, I make this note every term, and students still do it. I cannot reply from my email to those messages because they come from a no reply address. So please send me an email directly from your email. If you do not hear back from me within a short time, 24 hours or less, then something went wrong with you sending me an email. Please retry, try from another email account. Sometimes students will make mistakes or their emails will have trouble, but I'm looking forward, like I said, to a great term, and I want to help you all be successful. So hopefully this video is useful. Love to hear your feedback. I'll talk to you all soon. Thanks.